Good morning. There we are. Hello. All right. So here we are. We have made some progress. So I wanted to be able to kind of show a little bit about what I have done since the last time I streamed. I've done quite a lot. Um, Let me go ahead and make sure that I have this set to a material that I enjoy. That I could see things a little bit more clearly with. Let's go to Skin Shade 5. We'll say Z plugin, Subtool Master, fill, material. Just get everything filled with something that I can actually see it with. Okay, very, very cool. Okay, so some of the things that I've done. Um, I don't remember exactly like everything that's been streamed so far. So I've got like the back worked in. Okay, I got this interesting little rib cage deal going on here, which I'm going to need to go ahead and make sure that has a little bit more of like a wrap down on the bottom. It doesn't have to be super closed in because we're not really ever going to see everything else on the inside here. But I do want to make sure that this is closed in to some extent. In fact, let's do that now since we're here. We'll say close. We'll say convex hole. We'll say polygroup flat. We're gonna delete it anyway, so it's not really a huge deal. Let's grab that. We'll shrink it. I was gonna say et voila, but you know I think it's needing a couple little tweaks there. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to say Control Shift X, Control W. Just that way I get a different polygroup there. Now I can just go ahead and get rid of this. Geometry, modify topology, delete hidden. Crease, uncrease all. We'll say crease PG. Turn on that deal there. So now it looks more rounded on the bottom. It's going to feel a little bit more the way we want it. Could even turn that off and we still get a little bit better of a result there. Here, I actually kind of want to take this and move this up and in. Alright, that's better. Now it's going to look a little bit more hooked. A little bit more full and complete. We don't have to worry about losing out on stuff. So yeah, anyway, that'll be that piece. The arms, I went ahead and I actually took the muscles from the legs and pulled them up to the arms just to kind of block in the idea there. And I liked it so much that I went ahead and started doing retopology for the arms. So I've got this chunk here that I started, just as a bit of a demo last night to show my students at Gnomon how I work these sorts of things. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to say let's turn this, what's this? I'm going to take this and delete this. Let's grab this, we'll turn that off. And then with this piece, I want to go ahead and make sure this fills in over here a little bit so that there's overlap. It doesn't have to be a full arm, but I do want it to have a little bit of overlap. So I'm going to say, turn that to transparent. Okay, this is going to be cool. Let's go to the Z modeler. We'll turn on extrude on edge actions. Edge, snap to surface. We'll go to point actions. We'll say move, snap to surface. And then right now I don't need it. I don't need anything on the polygon actions, so we'll just turn that off for now. I'm gonna pull this toward myself a little bit more. Work. Use my tools to my advantage. Then I'm gonna actually zoom in over my reference screen so that I can see some sketches and designs a little bit more closely. Move that over. All right. Tight. That's cool. Okay. All right. Cool, 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 cool. I'm not going to worry about filling in like this row with topology yet, because if it's just, easier to control if there are fewer things to control. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post to Instagram that I'm live, so that way people know, and if they want to, they can come hang out. Let me come up here to the character's face. It's super exciting to have her progressing like this, guys. Like, let's see. I think the kids were just walking in the background, but I didn't see them. All right, live now. Maybe we'll just put it into the link. We'll put that as the text. We'll say, uh, where is the button? Link. There we go. Oh, okay. Twitch.tv/smartist. Make sure that that's working. Looks like it is. Yes. Put that into my stories, and now we're good. Now people on Instagram might know about it. Just to make sure that that uploads. It's kind of fun being able to create my own stickers like that now. It's a silly thing, but it's really kind of fun. I don't know if you guys have tried that. If you guys have that option yet, I don't know how many. If it's rolled out to everybody, or if it's just something that I got lucky enough to get that that functionality. But it's a fun one. All right, let me see. Come back down here to the arm. All right, let's start extruding and making some magic. Start bringing this up and over. I'm going to try to kind of create this flow so that this goes out over here. Something to that extent. Okay, now I want to see, let's turn the arm pieces back on. Okay, so we do have a little ways to go before we're completely covered here. But it's not too bad so far. Not too bad. Let me see. And let's turn that piece back off. Okay, I'm gonna kind of come over here. I'm gonna make this one piece here. Bring this down. I'm going to turn off the double-sided so I can see what I'm doing. It's like that's one of those things that's such a nice feature, but then when it gets in the way, it's like really in the way, which is kind of funny. Okay, so now we got this sort of thing going on here. I'm just trying to be mindful of where my edge loops are gonna go. I'm trying to make sure that I create as smooth of a shape as I can, right? Kind of bring that down so that that's got that full piece right here. Pull that out, pull this down. Let me see, I'm trying to remember, was this... Let's turn the arms back on. Okay, yeah, that should be enough. So now we got this going on, which is cool. I'll take it. One of the things that I'll want to decide is this, this green plate right here. I'm going to need to decide shape-wise how I want that to fit in. And I've got a couple of other things that I've got to work into my design here. And I'm trying to decide if I want, because like I want to have like a holographic projector somewhere in her arm, in her left arm. I'm trying to decide if I want to have that on the back of her hand, palm of her hand, or like her forearm. You know, kind of like a wristwatch, or kind of like a... My the mechanical bit on my desk doesn't want to function. Alright, so I want to also go through and do topology going out the other direction so we get this full kind of wrap. I might have to do a full wrap anyway, so it might be just a matter of turning off the arms and just continuing that topology until it completely envelops that lower part of the arm. Let me see what we've got here. That goes over, that goes around. Okay, so we're going to want to make sure that I'm just going to do a couple more loops in here. In fact, let's keep this a little bit lower, just to be able to keep with the better trying to think of what I'm trying to say here. Just to be able to keep with, like, make sure that this fits the forms. I want to make sure that I'm getting, you know, granted, I have not gone through and calculated any of this out at all. I have no idea. I have no idea what it is that I want to be able to, like how many loops I want to have coming down and around. It feels like this will probably be a good number of loops. This will come over. So we get this sort of thing going on. Technically, I should be working on this one over here, because if I come over here and I hit modify topology, mirror and weld, you'll see like it changed some. So I want to make sure that I have the one that I've been working on both sides, and then I'll just switch over to this one and work on this one. It's always funny. Okay, so we got this kind of thing going. Oh, that was too much. Let me see. Let's push this to kind of the edge of 17. Stevie Nicks, anyone? No? No? All right, let's see. It sounds like my son's downstairs playing some Overwatch. Super excited. Okay, so at work we've got this K-pop collaboration with the team with the group Le Seraphim. Um, they're a great group. I really like their music. They're super fun. So totally check them out. But it's like we're going to have them playing uh, their new song at BlizzCon in a couple weeks, and it's super super cool. Really excited. It's just kind of a fun thing. I like K-pop. It's fun. It's good stuff. Okay, let's see. I do want to have like another loop right here to be able to kind of build up this form, because I like that shape right there. And granted, it's not perfect up here at the top. I'd want it to be a little bit more shallow right here, and a little bit more deep down here, like it is. Um, but yeah, for now, not too bad. We'll fix it up here before too long. Um, I'm wanting these edge loops to follow the panel separations, because I'll be able to use kind of like what I did with the pectoral muscles. Um, there we go. Let's go through and rename this so that we don't lose it again. I lost it last night too, and it was kind of bothersome. Um, Pectorals. But yeah, so like right here, I've got this thing going on where it's got edge loops that are kind of pushed in, and edge loops that are out, that are raised, and that helps to create this idea, this sense of here. Let me hit save, and then I'm going to go ahead and actually version up. But what that does is that helps me to give that volume and a sense of raised muscle volumes. It's really pretty cool. Um, and then I've also creased the valley edge loop, so that way I can get a nice sharp transition there. I'll have to probably add support edges later, which is just an edge on either side of that edge loop so that it keeps it nice and sharp. But but yeah, I mean, so far so good. It's pretty cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, I did it again. Okay, got that out. There we go. I'm just going to kind of go down here to the bottom and look at it from bottom up. That'll help me to know kind of the flow and how that's working. So that'll be pretty cool. Okay, this little guy over here needs to find a home. This needs, like, I just need to make sure I'm getting a nice consistent flow headed down. That's a little bit better. Oops, that's not right. Something's wrong. There we go. Okay, that's better. Okay, we'll kind of fix this one. Fix this. Bring this over. Bring it up to connect. Bring this up. Place that nice neat. Yes. Slide. Alright, we got this. We got something going on here. Kind of raise that up a little bit. Raise that up a little bit. Just to kind of cozy these out some, you know? Word. Yeah. I want to kind of like, let's cozy these out a little bit too. Let me check that out. Yeah, one of the things I'm trying to, okay, I need to try to see. It's like we've got this topology going around here, but we don't have anything. I want to like insert this new edge loop here. Oh, let's see. Let's change it back to extrude. But then we're going to take the points and just kind of push them over against this crease here. Cool. Kind of space this out a little bit better here. We could probably space things out a little bit better up here too. Like this is a little bit. Here, let's use slide. Slide will be a little bit nicer because then I don't have to worry about like following a surface or anything like that. It's just going to follow the edges that already exist. Okay, so that's cool. I can kind of space out a little bit better. That's cool. That's cool. Got that. Yes. Change that back to move. I guess that does need to go down a little bit because the arm kind of angles down like that. Cool. Whoa, that's not connected. It's not. Ah, let's get that connected. Let's see. Cool. Let's go ahead and bring that down. Bring this up. Okay, so now that's connected all the way around, at least down to the certain point there. Grab this, bring this down some. Oops, too much. see some points over here that aren't quite merged together. Sorry, I'm trying to find a napkin or something. Alright, that should be better. It's like I've been having allergy stuff happening lately, so it's like I've I've been draining like a sink. Um, it's like that's one of the hard things about working in Irvine. It's like there's so many pollinating trees, especially like right around work. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start shaping this. I can get rid of some of these pieces in here now that I had created strictly for the sake of blocking things in. But yeah, let's go over here. We're gonna say slide. Is it transparent? No, it's not. It's just a preview method. It's a transparent button. It allows me to see through everything except for whatever I have selected. So it's pretty nice. It does have a couple different modes. So it has this ghost mode that's on right now, which is the default one. You turn it off though, and you have everything kind of solid, but you can still see through it. Both are useful, but I find that this one's most useful for doing things with topology. So yeah, it's kind of nice. Thank you, man. I'm doing pretty well. How about you? I'm going to say close. Let's go ahead and close that like that. Now I'll just control click and drag to pull that up. Yeah, there are certain functions inside of ZBrush, like solo or like transparent or other things like that, that I have on hotkeys just to make my life a little easier, right? So I recommend finding whatever it is that makes your life easier in ZBrush. Make a hotkey out of it. It's nice. Sometimes you'll have to be careful about like what hotkey you decide to use. There will be some hotkeys that are already pre-programmed, some that'll be more helpful for other things because it'll be easy to remember, whatever it is. Um, but definitely, definitely worth programming your own personal hotkeys. Like I have things like Control S for saving, so that I can just Control S and it'll just go through and save my Z tool exactly as it is. Backface is nice. I have that kind of pulled out. I'll go be with family, have fun. Yeah, I'll probably be doing something here with family before too long. We'll have to see kind of what we do. see. I like this. I want to make sure that it's not. I got Miro, back faces, multi-penned. Oh, mirror probably, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds useful. Okay, so now we got this piece here. Let's go ahead and delete hidden. That's something I should probably bring out to the outside here. Yeah, in fact, let's do it. I'm going to do it. Let's say preferences, config, enable customize. This is how you enable things. So Control Alt, click and drag, and now I've got my delete hidden out in the open here. There we go. So now that's out in the open. I'm going to go ahead and close that, close that, close that, close that. I just want to kind of close everything except for, and we can make this visible count 10, something like that. Just so like have everything closed that we don't want to have set as a default. So now what I can do is I can come over here, preferences, turn off enable customize, and hit store config. Now the other thing that I'd like to do is I'll also say save UI, just to make sure that I can go back and re-reference this if I ever needed to. Let's go to ZBrush. I might not actually have this saved out. We'll go into must-haves. I have startup. Yeah, startup doesn't have anything in it. I'm going to put it right in here. I think this is. I'm just going to change the name to Z Interface 2023. Just really easy. It's not anything complicated. Okay. So now anytime I need to, I can very easily go ahead and save things out. I'm just going to go ahead and like slide these up. Oh, this bit right here, I don't like that flow. So let's change this. I'm going to say let's hit delete. Okay, so we've got, yeah, let's hit delete on that too. I'm going to want to say insert single edge loop. Ooh. Hold on there, hold on. Modify topology, delete hidden. Now we should be good. There we go. Bridge edges. Boom, just like that. And then with these, let's go ahead and we'll slide this over. We'll slide, actually let me, yeah, because it's like this is following all that muscle grouping, and that had that specific crease kind of going up there too. Puzzle time. Let me see. In fact, now it's as good a time as ever to really think as to whether or not that little triangle is going to serve me. I think it might be worth getting rid of the little triangle. It's going to take some getting used to having it over there, but it's okay. I'm going to say, yeah, let's actually grab this. We'll just get rid of this little polygroup here. Oh, did you post a sculpt in your in the what's it called, in the Discord? I haven't been on in a couple of days. I've been like super I'll say preoccupied with with this um with this particular character. Okay, so now we got this going on. Got that going on. grab that, pull that in, grab that, pull it in. Say slide, pull that over, pull that over, pull that over too. Well, I've got good management of time. It's just that, yeah, just a matter of finding priorities and sticking to them. Say bridge these edges. But yeah, I guess traditionally or I'll say stereotypically, artists are pretty bad about time management. I will say though that there are times where it's like I have things I need to get done or get to or whatever, um, where I will definitely lose track of time or let's go ahead and just kind of pull this over. Different things like that. I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen a message from you, so I'll have to check it out. See if I can find you. Maybe it went to a different folder or something. Okay, so we got this sort of stuff going on here. I'm wanting to try to make sure that I'm controlling and getting this change in forms and change the shapes here. Kind of pull that up a little bit. Doesn't have to be down so low now that there isn't the triangle piece to worry about. Let's hit Control W just to make sure we got the same polygroup. I like the green though. That was a little bit easier to see. It's a little bit nicer. Okay, let's see. Let's grab this. I'm going to say crease edge loop partial. I'm just going to start creasing edges that are making strong shapes. Okay, not that one though. This one's good. This one and this one. Let's try that. Kind of see what we get. Ah, it's too much. That's feeling kind of cool though. This is not closed. Yeah, say stitch to an endpoint, so we can just tap tap. Oh, oh, where'd we go? Okay. Let's go ahead and we'll just turn this off for now. Okay, cool. We can turn these off for now too. Even better. I'm gonna grab this color right here. Let's say MRGB color fill object, just so that we have it kind of blocked in. There are still a lot of things. I hate it when the vertex isn't joined. Yeah, me too. Let's see, mirror and weld is one of those that I use all the time too. I should probably pull that one out as well. But yeah, dude, have fun. Have fun. To this point, you're still the only person that has made it into the chat, so I appreciate you stopping by and saying hi. Okay, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I'll save. That's a good reminder there. I did version up, right? Let me see. We should be version 5. Yep. Okay, cool. Okay, so this is looking really, really cool. And I'm trying to, I still want to try to figure out. I'm glad you find it useful. Typically, I'll be on like ZBrush Live, like the actual, the actual official ZBrush. Say crease PG, so that maybe hold its shape a little bit better. It's not holding the end shape at all. Um, but yeah, I'll be on that ZBrush Live channel more often than on my own channel. But since this is a special, um, I guess a special uh, challenge, design challenge with the ArtStation challenge. It's like I tried to schedule it on my own channel, keep it kind of selfishly to myself. Okay, I'm gonna make it actually a little bit lighter, just so I can see the forms a little bit better. And then let's kind of play with this a little bit. You too. Oops, come on. Working on the wrong arm anyway. Odd. Okay, let me see. Control Shift S. Invert that. We'll make sure that this is uncreased. This needs to be uncreased, I think. Let's uncrease that. And then we just Control W. I don't know why it was all. There we go. Something a little bit lighter in color. It's nicer just to get that little bit of contrast with the edge loops and everything. Bring my intensity way low on my smooth. Just kind of cozy out some of these points through here. Cool. Okay, so that's working out nicely. I'm trying to think. Let's go down and work on these boots a little bit. I've started building out the actual like bottom section of these boots, which has been pretty fun. So what we're going to do is similar sort of process, similar sort of thing, right? Yeah, let's go ahead and just kind of mask this out so we get a different poly group. We'll pull this into a different poly group just so that we have, in fact, we could go through and we can grab these, Control W, just so that those things are together, right? But this way I can go through and I can kind of extrude out and make the new poly group that comes with that and not have to worry about too much. So now that's going up. It's definitely out too far, but it's one of those things that we'll have to try. I think the boots feel a little bit too clunky, and I think one of the things that I might do to kind of soften that out is make it so that the inside is not quite as heavy. I don't know that having the symmetry there is doing enough for me. So I'm gonna kind of let me kind of bring this over. Hey, Leonard. I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing? I'm just working on my character right now. For anybody who's jumping in fresh, I'll kind of like put a screenshot over there so we can see kind of what's going on, what I'm working on. Been working on trying to get this character worked out for an ArtStation challenge, which is fun. It's just just having fun. Um, yeah, and I'm just trying to work through different ideas that I'm having right now. Here, let me try something here. I'm just going to duplicate this down, and we're going to work on the duplicate so that way we don't have to worry about messing everything up. I'm going to say collapse polyloop. Let's collapse that down. Boom, 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 boom. Let's get rid of that too. Okay. I think I'm working on the wrong side again, but that's okay. Okay, let me see. I like I think I like the idea of this being softer because then it helps to create a little bit more of a space in there, but then it also gives me room for all this action over here. Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's try this. Let's say Control Shift S, Control W. Cool. And let's kind of make that its own poly group too, because why not? I don't have a booth for Lightbox, but I do have your your stormtrooking. That's fun. Yeah, that turned out really neat. I was happy with that. I don't have a booth, but I will be doing demos at Lightbox, so that'll be fun. I'll have one that I'm doing for Lightbox itself, and then I'll have a couple, two or three that I'll be doing for Pixelogic. So for Maxon for ZBrush, for Pixelogic, it's the Pixelogic team. That's my family. Come through here, kind of ease things out, get the right shapes. This is going to be cool when I work this all out, but yeah, I think I really like this bit here. Control Shift X. No, I guess I'll leave it. I'll leave that the way it is. Okay, let's take this. I'll say geometry, uncrease all, and then I'll say crease PG, just to keep that nice and crisp when I smooth it out. Okay, I think there are a few things that I want to experiment with on the boots themselves, like the actual foot part of the boots. Um, but for now, let's just keep going through and building this up because this is getting pretty, pretty close to what I need. Let's kind of bring this in so that it's starting to mesh more with the surface underneath. Cool. Get something kind of like that. Yeah, so I'll be there Friday as well. I'll be doing probably like the afternoon. I can't remember. Just came to you while you're messing around. Those are some of the best ones though. Like seriously, I think that that's probably some of my absolute favorite some of my favorite creative results have been just me messing around. Let's go ahead, we'll hide this. I want to make sure that this other side has its own polygroup as well. Perfect. Make sure that's all one polygroup there. In fact, I could probably go through and like merge these two together as well. I don't know, we'll leave it. We'll leave it for now. Maybe. Let's grab that and grab that. We'll say Control W, just so that way we have things kind of consolidated. I'm going to say, let's also make this a polygroup because that'll be helpful. Just for landmarks' sake, right? Control W. We'll grab this. We'll say come here, you. Grab this, and now we got Control W there. I mean, we could have just gone through a Z modeler and done that, but whatever. sometimes, sometimes you just overcomplicate things on accident. Let's go through. Let's kind of even these out so that we get a little nicer of a shape. Or at least a more even control, you know? I'm gonna come through here. Let's say, let's hide that. I'm going to say uncrease all. Okay, same thing over here. Let's make sure we're kind of evening these out a little bit, just so that it's a little nicer. Gonna pull this down. Honestly, like this bit right here is probably where this should have a 5 point going over instead of this point, but let's do it. I'm going to build out some new topology in here. The 5 points are not going to line up, but they should hopefully be nice enough. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say insert single loop, put that in there. We'll take this and raise it. You know what? Let me see, because I don't want to control everything here. I just want to kind of control this bit. So we'll just mask everything else out. Makes it a little bit nicer. Got this guy in here. Alright. Oops. Okay, I can insert an edge loop there now, so this will make things a little bit more even. Hopefully, theoretically, right? Lots of stuff there. There's a pumpkin carving challenge. Somebody asked if I was going to participate. I gave my usual answer. Nope, I'm retired. I am unchallenged now. Yep. The next day I had a pumpkin pretty much done. Was that somebody from Imagineering that had said that? Was it like was it Steve or something? Or was it Jamie? Jamie's usually into those sorts of little challenges and things like that. More than most of the other people, I guess. I'm gonna say collapse polyloop. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to. I'll insert that later, I guess. Let's say bridge. Start bridging things together. Now I've got that. I've got 2 there. I've got. Okay, so 2 to 3. I've got 2 to 3, which means I need another edge loop in here. Am I prepared for that? Oh yeah, I actually don't know anything about where Jamie's at now. Yeah, he's. Yeah, I haven't been in touch with him for a while since since Imagineering, really. Here, you know what? We gotta turn on symmetry, or the local symmetry, anyway. But yeah, he was great. I really appreciated being able to work with him. He was just fun to talk to, fun to be around. Tennessee for an exhibit design place, huh? For like trade show sort of exhibit. or like museum sort of exhibit. Oh, I thought I had my mask lasso on. Okay, so now I gotta go back and get better acquainted with what it is I was trying to select again. There we go. I'm gonna turn on my transpose tool. Just gotta move it up enough. I gotta kind of reshape this. I've gotta like ease these points out around the edge too at some point. But yeah, we'll call this all right for now. Just for the sake of being able to get space for an extra edge loop to go through. These are gonna have to be eased in as well, but yeah, we'll get there. Here, let's do this now. Let's go ahead and say insert edge loop. So now we got that. We can just we'll just slide points, I guess. Okay. So now we should be able to start bridging across and make things happy again. One thing that I do want to make sure of is that I want to make sure that things like this 5-point is not happening right on the edge. Mostly museums that do all types. It's a pretty small place. Also doing collectibles for that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like doing collectibles type things. It's fun work. There we go. Okay, so now we got some stuff going on here, and that's looking pretty decent. I currently have like a ton of these feeding into here. I want to kind of crunch these down some so that I have like I'll try to take like this sort of principle like wrapping around the back up a little higher, but I want to make sure that this edge loop, I want that to kind of continue more horizontally across here. So let's kind of bring some things down some. It'll make things feel a little bit cramped for sure, but it's fine. It's fine. It'll be all right. Say slide edge loop partial. Just kind of drag that down, drag this back down a little bit more. So that's a little bit more parallel with that. We'll drag this down so that's more parallel with that. And we'll drag this down so that this is more parallel with that. Okay, so that's a little bit better. Okay, still a lot left to do to be able to kind of clean this up, but don't you know we're on our way. Hot dog, look at that, yes. Okay, these bits in here, it's not flowing super nicely, so it's really kind of hard to, because like the same sort of principle where it's like it's kind of going, I don't know, it's like these loops are going whoop, and this is going just terminating right there. I feel like this termination could probably happen up here. So it might be a matter of, let's take that, we'll get rid of it. Take that and get rid of it. And then up here, what I want to do, here, let's go ahead and say, grab that. We'll slide this down. Slide this down, slide this down, slide this down, slide it down. We're just sliding down all around. Texting with Steve last week. First time in a year. Wish I could get those guys more involved with the outside community of artists. Yeah, they're pretty. Um, yeah, they kind of hold to themselves quite a lot, which is sad, but it's fine, I guess. Oh, I see. I kind of messed up the front there. Here, I'm gonna go back some. Because I don't want to ruin the front. So I'm going to say Control W just so that it's its own poly group. Okay, let's go ahead and grab this. Now we can go ahead and do our sliding of down. Slide that down so it's more even with the bit. Slide that down till it's more even with the bit. Slide that down a bit. Okay, so this is definitely kind of an interesting bit here to consider because like I've got a different piece on the inside and on the outside, which means it means I'm going to need to be a bit more intentional when I'm kind of trying to decide and coordinating front to the back, getting those loops going around, things like that. Let's go ahead and kind of bring this down. Oh, you think so, huh? Partially due to the company we worked for, we didn't want to draw undue attention to ourselves. Well, that's interesting. I mean, it's like for me myself, like I've always tried to participate in things, be public and things like that, purely because I've always had to make sure that I had networking opportunities, make sure that my work was out there because I was constantly needing to switch between jobs or, because one job would end and the next one would need to start. And if I didn't have new work to show, then I would be really out of luck. Um, so yeah, that's been kind of my my career to this point, really. Um, I'm gonna say delete that. We'll delete that, so that way we can kind of um, fix the flow here, independent of what's happening here. So that way we can kind of keep that shape started the way that it is. But yeah, I don't know. There's an old poem. Life ain't been no crystal stair. is definitely going a lot better now than it was. So that's nice. But then I got myself into certain habits or into certain um, yeah, I just got into different hobbies and things like that, like streaming. Um, where now it's like I'm kind of part of an online community and modified topology mirror and world. I'm working on the wrong side, I guess. But yeah, streaming is something that I did or that I started doing in large part so that I was more publicly available, so people could see, me, my working, and so I could get into teaching and things like that. Yeah, I definitely had a little bit of a network before Disney. I feel like Disney is where I sort of stopped networking in like the traditional sense, and things just started being more about seeing friends or connecting with people that I used to work with or that I used to know, different things like that. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's really kind of an interesting thing in that sense. Just personal history, I guess. Perfect. Okay, say insert loop here. We'll bridge here. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. All right. So we got that going on. So now we just need to bring down the next series of points. Here's what I'll do. I'll bring it down to this point to be able to line it up with that 5 point. Ooh. You know what? Let's take it down a little bit further. We'll make this kind of a midpoint between here and here. I'm going to set this to do nothing so I don't accidentally ruin any of that. Yeah, and then we'll have a new edge loop that we'll create in here. So we have something to bridge over for that. Insert this edge loop here, and then we'll go ahead and we'll bridge these together. The thing that I'm trying to make sure that that I'm creating here is just a nice clean flow. I think that one of the things that'll happen sometimes, and that I've had to catch myself, make myself a little bit more aware, more careful in doing, is making sure that my geometry doesn't get too stretched. Um, but yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad. How many edges do I have going on through here? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7. I want 6. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to collapse this down. Let's say collapse that polygroup down. There we go. Because that'll get me down to the count that I want. So now it's just a matter of making sure that I've got, 3 and 3, how it would need to be, right? To make sure that's nice and even. You feel safe when you work there, but you're not. I remember how great it was to be an SB designer, special effects, until I had to find a job somewhere else. Yeah. Hey, Peter. I like the way you sculpt and do the topology and ZBrush. Some good work right there. Thank you. Yeah, I have fun. I have fun. Really appreciate the workflow and attention you give to topology. I love doing that type of work. It's like, yeah, it is like solving puzzles, and I think that that's something that's, oops, it's really kind of it can be cathartic. It can be really frustrating too, but it can be really cathartic. In fact, there are a lot of things that I should probably be doing to kind of test this out, make sure that it's working the way that I want. You know, looking at it smooth, looking at it regular, but I'm just trying to make sure that my flow is a little bit more clean before I even care about that sort of stuff, because it's like if I look at it in the rough state and I can see that it's not clean, it's like, there's no point in checking to see if it's clean, you know. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this should be my middle point here. Let's go ahead and grab this. Just kind of ease that out. Jeez Blueies. Okay. Mirroring well just to make sure that worked. Okay, so this is my middle point, which means we're going to want to try to shape that arc around it. We are getting kind of a different arc here. Here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to do. Okay, I'm going to say delete this poly, delete this poly. Okay. I want this point to be here, so I'm going to delete this poly. I'm going to insert an edge loop here. Kind of slide that over. Because essentially, like, to be able to get these to line up, it just needs to be like a 5 point down to a 3 point here. So that should be fine. We'll go ahead, we'll insert another edge loop here, and then we'll go ahead and we'll bridge this together. So solve one side first, and then I can go ahead and solve the other side here in a minute. But that's always helpful to have, something solved out, something to kind of solve for. Okay, again, here's my 5 point, so I need to make sure that, let me see, between here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay. Let's go ahead and drag this over so that this is creating a cleaner shape, or a more even distribution of the shape, I guess. Not so much a cleaner shape because it's still messy. Let me see. So we got this going on. We got this coming in. I don't want that to get more topology going up. Although it looks like it could probably use it. Here's what I'll do. Let's insert single edge loop there. I'm going to need to make sure that I can add a single edge loop to the other side as well. And say delete those just so that we can work more peacefully here. Insert that there. Okay. And then with these, I want to make sure that I'm kind of just lowering them. Just give myself a little bit more breathing space with these points. Same thing over here, just kind of raise it up. So now we got 1, 2, 3. But just 1, 2. I don't know. Maybe that's not the best. Let's get rid of this. It's like a psych. Just kidding. But if I wanted to, I can very easily add edge loops going horizontally. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let's go through. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go ahead and say bridge edges. We'll bridge that to there. We'll bridge that to there. Go ahead and do something like that so it's its own polygroup here. And then we'll say insert multiple edge loops. We want to make sure that I'm getting enough edge loops to bridge down to these. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go ahead and make it so that it keeps the polygroup. And then we'll just kind of bridge these together because, you know, make it so we got a nice clean or closed shape. It's not really clean yet. We still have a ways to go. And then I'm also probably going to end up adding in another edge loop or so in here. At some point that'll go up. Cool. This bit down here, I'm actually curious. I might just take it and make it into a shell. I don't need to have this all closed off in this way. Not quite yet anyway. Yeah, let's go through here. We'll say Control W. Get rid of that. Control W. Get rid of that. Control W. Although I do kind of like the idea of a socket better than a shell at this point. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see, I guess. Let's get that front merged together. Let's get the back merged together. Yeah, let's kind of mask everything out here. And then I'll say deformation polished by groups. Maybe I won't yet. I don't know. Okay, let me see. Just try to like smooth and even out everything just a little bit generally, and that might get me some interesting results with evening out the topology that I'm trying to play with here on the front anyway. Let's go ahead and insert that one that we were talking about. I'm just trying to like destructively smooth through here. I feel like if I get this to wrap, if I get this shape here to wrap a little bit more, I might get a little bit more appealing of a form, a little bit more appealing of a shape. But that's why I'm trying it out. Yeah, that's nice. I'll take that. I think having that be one solid smoothness going across, I think that'll work. So now to be able to make this bottom part here work, I'm going to need to add an extra edge loop in here that'll kind of like bevel out, and that'll help make the rest of that smooth outside shell. Um, I'm going to get rid of all my creasing on this. Let's say crease, uncrease all, because like the creasing is not going to be the same after too long. Let's kind of boost my smooth a little bit. It's not quite enough. Okay, just kind of smoothing this out, smoothing this out. Just got to cozy out these points so that they are a little bit more nicely distributed. There we go, that's a little bit better. It's like, when are those points going to come out to play? Delete that edge loop in there. Let's mask this out. Let's grab it actually. Let's say deformation, polish by groups just a bit so that it's nice and clean. Okay. Okay. So now we need to go ahead and we need to kind of build this up and get the form of the rest of that lower leg. Hey Adam, how you doing? Oops. Let's see, let's go ahead and kind of mask out those tips. Let's see, it's 9:12 currently. Not too bad. We're making some good progress. Okay, so that's the way that I want that to be at the moment. So that's good. This front end, I'm going to go ahead and let's slide that down some just to get this evened out a little bit more. I do want to try to keep these points here just because I feel like that shape is going to be important to me. So we're just going to try to support that a little bit. Get that going, get that down. Yeah. Cool. Okay, there's some things down here that can definitely stand to be evened out, but it's going along. It's nice. This is working out nicely, guys. Kind of even that out some. That should be good. Cool. All right. So now this is creating this interesting shape here on the back. I'm it's like I've really enjoyed kind of adding in these sorts of pieces. You see, like we got like this bit here, we got this bit here. I kind of want to add something like that here on the back of the calf, or on the back of the boot. But I also really like the silhouette of what's going on here, and I feel like if I were to add anything into the like like breaking the silhouette of that boot, I feel like it would just change it too much. Practice some rigging before heading to the pub. Nice. Yeah, I'll probably do like a really basic rig for this gal, so that I can get her post. And I mean like, oh boy, basic. Like, she gonna be basic. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think we're ready. Let's start building up the rest of the boot here. In fact, what I could do, and I think I will, let's grab this and we will lengthen it out. Just so that it comes up to where that calf line is. And then we can start inserting edge loops as needed, but we'll probably keep it pretty pretty basic for now. And then at some point I'm going to want to make sure that you know what, I might build the knee into this piece. I think that that will help. I think that that'll be a kind of a cool I think that'll be kind of cool. So I think these edges here are the ones that I'm going to want to kind of continue up and make. Yeah, I think I'll have all these kind of like I'll have this edge loop that's kind of going around here. I'll have that kind of hook up and over the top here. Okay, here we go. So let's say extrude. We have snap to surface. Hit Alt so that we get a really simple. Oh, let's say move. Ah, I'm working on the wrong side again. It's like I keep working on my right side because to me that feels more natural, you know. Just like, uh, I mean, I am right-handed after all, so it's like, you know, it just kind of makes sense. Oops. Get that piece out. Get this piece up and over. There we go. So now we got that loop going up. We have 4 going up in there. So what we need, this is going to need to go down and across, just like it is. It should be just fine. I'll just kind of build out. I mean, technically, I could just go through and include that piece. Yeah, I'm mistaken. Hold on. Because it's only 4 edges going through there. So Here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring this up. Place those points nice and neat. Place that up. Bring that up. Bring that up. Okay. I can't reach it. Oh, I reached it, but I missed it. Oh, golly. I'll drag it over close so that way I can grab it a little bit more easily. There we go. There we go. How about that? Okay. So now it's just a matter of building out the rest of it, which should be fine. It shouldn't be too difficult. Extend the front toes just a little bit. I actually have this like super short for, on purpose. Like I really quite like that. I mean, I'll probably test and experiment with it and see what it is, what else it is that I'd like to do with it. But at the moment, this is very intentional. I'm trying to keep it very trying to keep it very blunt. Well, I guess sharp to the point, but still very yeah, just short. Because like we have such big statements with the with the calves and with the thighs. Like I didn't want to. I almost kind of wanted this to kind of almost fade out some. So that's kind of the idea with that. But yeah, we'll probably play around with it some more at some point. 922. I feel like I've gotten so much done that I'm just like I'm like tired. Well, I mean, I woke up tired, but I'm tired. I'm trying to decide. In fact, here's what we'll do. We'll say, let's get this. We'll make the whole knee pad its own polygroup, just to keep things separate. Yeah. Yeah, rigging though. Yeah, that's something that I'm not good at all. Like I haven't done that at all ever. So it's one of those things that I'll have to experiment with some. But then beyond that, I'll have to um, learn a whole lot. You know what? Let's start at the bottom because I think at the bottom is where I'll end up needing to do the most figuring out. Let's grab this. I'll say grab out the whole. The forms through here will have to be refined, and that's fine. But for now, it's not too bad. So move. Just see if we can get, yeah, it's welded together now. That's not. There we go. Kind of raise that up so that that's ready for, oh, that's not what I meant to do. I actually meant to turn that on, not turn it off. Okay, cool. So we got this going on. This is going over. I'm trying to... Yeah, I mean this should all be just fine, I think. Now it's just a matter of like taking things up. Start building our landmark sections here. Oh shoot. Stop welding together. I will disown you. Alright. Cool. So far so good. Cool, so we got that side working out. And now we gotta get this inside. Cool, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to double check and make sure that my stuff was all welded together as it should be. Bring that up, bring this over, yes. Look at us. Look at us, just look at us. I wanted to learn rigging too, but now not so much. It's one of the areas in feature animation. That's a lot of jobs. That's true. That's true. And it'll probably stay that way for at least a little while because it's something that you can't really automate. There are a lot of really cool tools that people have built to be able to automate some of the processes, but it's definitely not an automatable job. I'm gonna try. It's maybe a little bit too much. I think I need to add in an extra loop here just for the sake of being able to connect things more smoothly. Oops, that's not what I want. There we go. It's a good thing I'm keeping this really pretty low poly because this is a lot to deal with. Oops. Extrude. Oops, that's not going to be good. Let's do it this way. Be a little bit easier to control. Good golly. Stop snapping to the other side. Just like, just do what I'm trying to do. You know what? I keep forgetting that I'm working on the wrong side. Let's say mirror and weld. Make sure that we're getting everything. Smartest on the big screen. I mean, my screen's not small. I'm just kidding. One of the things that I had always wanted for myself was a projector. So I finally got I mean, we had like a 720p projector, but then I went ahead and I got myself a nice projector, and we've used it for games. We've used it for movie nights. We've used it for everything. It's been our television. It's been everything. It's really cool. I really like it. It's so much nicer than a television because you can move it around. Pull that out. Let me see. Trying to be careful about. Oh. Trying to be careful about everything, really, but. There we go. That whole thing is connected. So now we've got most of our leg in there. We obviously have to go through and add a lot of topology in there. Get things working. I'm going to add I gotta finish adding in this loop from here, but then I also want to add a loop that's going up and over the top so that it makes it feel more solid. So yeah, I mean this loop should be fairly simple to add in, but I guess you never know. Bring that up. Oops. One of the funny things is my son, he asked me the other day, he's like, Dad, does she have a name yet? And it occurred to me, no, I didn't even think about a name. I thought about more what she was and didn't think at all about who she was. Okay. I'll have to work out the bottom at some point. But what I want to do now is I want to work out this top. Get this knee working in a way that feels good. Man, I must be doing like really well with my just moving forward today, just time, because I feel like time has not moved at all. I feel like I've gotten a ton done and it's still only 9:30. What time did I start? I can't even remember. I want to say it was maybe like 7:30. That might be a little bit too much. There we go. That's better. Mirror and weld. Make sure it's the same on both sides. Sorry. Bit of a sneeze. Didn't want to sneeze in your ear. I've got this right here that I want to make sure is part of that same group. Control W. Looking decent. In fact, hey, I might even make upper and lower their own groups just so that they're easier to control and keep track of the, what's it called? The shape, the landmarks. Just kind of come through here and just kind of smooth things out some. There are some of these bits in here that I want to try to control a little bit more though, so we'll just come in here manually and try to get a little bit nicer of a shape. And then I'll have to go through and control, like I have a ridge that I want to kind of sculpt into this, so I'll have to kind of control how that happens here. Trying to think now. Yeah, because essentially it's just like this little bend here, but the way that I have it currently, it's not really bending off to the side as much as it is going like straight up into the middle of the knee. I don't know that I want that. Maybe it's just a matter of it being like a little bit crisper down here and fading out. That could be cool. I'm going to do that. Just simplify things a little bit for once. Say inflate this list a little bit here, but I don't want to. don't want to have this top edge affected, at least not as much, right? That'll be a little bit better. I'm wanting to try to make sure that I'm honoring as much of the form from my block out as possible, because I really, really like the shapes that I was getting in there. So it's just a matter of trying to pay attention when I'm getting these forms in here now. Let's kind of get that to be a little bit smoother of a transition up and down here. Over here as well. Let's put the intensity up into the teens somewhere. There we go. Ah, quick save. I'll hit regular save too. Malamente. Boom. Okay. So now to get this peak that I want, let's go ahead and mask that out completely. I'm going to need to kind of fix that form a little bit too, but oh, come on. Oh, come on. Mask out the back so that I don't accidentally modify it. And make sure that that's all the way masked out. Go ahead and kind of soften this out, but just like a smidge. Just kind of like slide this over some. There we go, getting a little bit more of a crease. Let's give it a little bit more swing. Okay, so let's go ahead, let's do a couple of things now. Let's go ahead and grab this. I'm just going to kind of paint in my my leg model a little bit so that I get something of a lighter color. This is my painterly brush, so it has all sorts of interesting like color variation and blotchiness and things like that. It's kind of fun. It's a nice one. The other thing I want to do is kind of drag this back over here. Just trying to check it from different angles, make sure that we're doing all right. Of course, I'm working on the wrong side, but it's okay. I didn't mess up anything too badly. Let me see. Okay, let's come over here. We'll say bridge those together, bridge those together. So now we've got this as a nice little inset loop. And then I want to have this also be a nice inset loop. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a similar sort of thing. Here, let's go ahead and say insert. Doesn't really matter a whole lot how we do it. We'll say bridge. Oh, we're going to need to add another one. Okay, now we can say bridge. Bridge to there, bridge to there. And then this will get smoothed out, so this will be nice. Boom and boom. Okay. Make sure that we have just these pieces selected. Give it its own poly group. Mask things out. And smooth it out. Okay, very cool. So now I'll just go ahead and grab this. I'll hit Y. And then control click and drag just to kind of give it a little bit more of an inset. Something like that, maybe. Got this going on. Let's kind of fix some of that right there. Trying to work out, smoothing out some of these shapes in here. Like we talked about before, though, I want to make sure that I am adding in single edge loop. And then we'll grab that edge. We could just go ahead and do it this way. Let's say mask, edge loop partial, invert. And we'll just say deformation and inflate. Just a little bit. I mean, the idea behind doing this is just the idea of trying to make sure that I can kind of offset these 5 points so that they're not happening right on the edge of a form transition. Otherwise, it makes some really kind of nasty what's it called? artifacts. So I'm just going to go around and kind of manually slide these things around. I feel like I'm starting to see light at the end of whatever tunnel this is. Oh, working on the wrong side again. Let's kind of slide that so that it feels a little bit more. There we go. If you hold Alt with your slide, then it'll let you kind of like go in and out along the normal, which is nice. Yes. Okay. Okay. It's just all about shaping right now. The shape in the back can be a little bit more sharp, a little bit more tight than the shape in the front. Or sorry, the shape in the back can be more tight than the shape in the front. I think I might have said that. I might not have, but I don't know. Now I've said it, so we're good. Say it right. Say it or don't say it. Okay, I'm not liking this shape versus this shape, so I want to try to figure something out. In fact, let's grab the old shape here, and we'll reduce this down. So this is just the boot itself. This is not by any means like final boot type mesh, but it's probably good enough. I might see about keeping what I have here just for the sake of simplifying my life a little bit here. With this bit here, I do want this to hold its shape nice and tight, but I want it to fade out in the front. So what I'll do is I'll grab this bit here, and I will say let's actually bring that out. We'll soften our mask. Come on, there we go. And then what I want to do is we're going to say ZModeler. Let's make it nice and big, and we will slide this down. Oops, slide. This down. Okay, so by having these close together here in this section, this will help make sure that we get a decent crisp line with that there. So if we smooth that out, you can see it's holding that shape really nicely, but it's fading out as it goes toward the front, which is really, really nice. Let me see, about 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to call it a day. At least for now. I might get on later, but for now, like this is what we'll have. Cool. Let's go ahead. I'm going to make sure that this is its own poly group, just so that it's easy to discern between the inside and the outside. I'm going to grab this deformation, say polish by groups, just so that that's clean. I love the feeling of progressing on a project, because I mean this is a lot to go through. Hit save real quick. Turn the mesh back on. At some point, I'm probably going to go ahead and do like a retopology pass on the upper legs as well. I don't know that I feel super concerned knowing when to put the pencil down. Yep. Yep. Wait, oh yeah, the shape down here. I want to tweak this. Let's do something kind of outrageous. Let's do this instead. Let's grab this, and I'm going to do some like pretty serious smoothing here. And then for the outside, let's do something like this maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll hate it later. I don't really like it now. I wonder if I were to just get rid of either get rid of this bit, or let's try this purely because I was curious about trying it anyway. Let's grab this guy, bring it down. Make it a little bit bigger, make it a lot of it taller. You know what? Maybe instead of making it taller in that way, let's do it this way. Just so that it's big enough. And then we can just kind of stuff it in here and see what this feels like. It's too big. No, I don't like that. I don't like how it sits down so low. feel like it wants to break the silhouette, but it doesn't want to break the silhouette. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do instead. Let's get rid of this. I don't need this. Let's say delete. Okay. I'm going to get rid of this angled bit here, or at least the inside bit here. Let's see what we can do. Let's say collapse poly loop. We'll try to keep some of that main structure there, and we'll just kind of let this be. I mean, shape-wise, that already reads a little bit better, but I don't particularly care for the way that this flows over here. It's like it just feels too chunky. If we just get rid of I mean, that's kind of interesting. Let's try something like that. Just kind of see where it goes. And if we don't like it, then we'll fix it. We'll fix it. Fix it, fix it. Let's boost my intensity a little bit here so that we can get a little bit more done a little bit more quickly. Yeah, I think I'm liking this a lot nicer. But yeah, I mean, it's always a matter of trying things out, seeing what you like, seeing what you don't like. And then I can figure out kind of what it is I want to be able to do with this area. Oops. It's not the most beautiful topology, but it's it does what I need it to do. I got a little bit too much of that crease up there. And then let's go ahead and we'll slide some stuff around just to make sure that we have this crease happening maybe a little bit lower and have it fade out. shit, that's kind of going off to the side that I want it to go off to. Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing down here that I did with the top. Come on, Z modeler. Let's get slide points. Just to get kind of an even more crisp shape on the top. Like on that on that section right there, right? Get that so that it's nice. And then we can invert our mask. We'll say mask all that out, and then we can go ahead and kind of soften this out just a smidge, just to even out the topology. There we go. That's a little bit nicer. Okay. I'm gonna call her done for now. Let's go over to the arms and turn that back on because I do want those, and I'll keep that bit. But yeah, gosh, we're making some cool progress so far. So now, I mean, I've got a few things going on. I definitely need to. Let me see. Let me grab this piece from behind the elbow too, because this is just a nice little shield piece. Grab this, Control Shift D, and then we'll bring it down. We'll center that, and then we'll bring it down more. I'm gonna try to give this maybe a little bit of like a taper so that it gets kind of thinner at the bottom or something. Or reversed. Let's reverse it actually. That's kind of a cool idea. Taper it in at the top. I want it to get a little bit rounder, so that way it's that way it kind of helps to fill in some form. It'll catch light a little bit better, things like that. Just kind of even out some of those points, a little bit of smooth action, and then I mean now I'm going through and I'm trying to decide whether I want to keep the kneecap connected. Because I mean, I could go through and very easily split it out, and I think that would very much increase the appeal of that specific piece, you know. um, so much. I'm gonna call it good though for right now, and I'll come back to it. I'll come back to it next time I come back to it. I've got like 8 or 9 days left, a little over a week. Yeah, let's do like something like not this coming Monday, but the Monday after that. So, yeah, we'll check it out. We'll see how it goes, and then yeah, I guess maybe what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll do my my turn image real quick, and then call it good. But yeah, I mean good. It's been a good time. So, thanks for coming and hanging out. Hopefully, you guys have had an alright time. Just resize document to fit the track. We'll say Control N. Boom. Oh yeah, I forgot that I had I need to go through and redo my views. But yeah, no, this is fun. Quick save. But anyway, thanks for coming and hanging out and saying hi. I'll probably go ahead and leave this on the coming soon screen so that people can still watch. But yeah, or maybe I'll just stick. I'll just do this from here. It's not a big deal. So yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll knock that in. We'll pull that out. So now we've got this. I do need to turn on my focal length to 120. Turn on perspective. And then drag her into view. Hit perspective. I'm going to hit Shift S just to make sure that I can kind of line up my views. Just makes things a little bit easier. Get rid of that one. I don't need perspective on for this one. Just bring her down. Something like there. Drag that one off. I need perspective on for this one. Need perspective off for this one. Something about right there. Movie. Save. Just so I at least have the body turns, right? Okay, so the way that this works, yeah, timeline is really nice. It's really just a matter of like clicking and to be able to save, and then you just click and drag off onto the document space to get rid of a point. So it's really, really helpful. I'm going to say Control Shift. Well, I have it set to Control Shift E. Let's go ahead and export an image. You can go up to Document and Export to be able to save the image. But yeah, so Control Shift E is what I have it set to. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to do every other image just so that I don't have to spend the time going between perspective and out of perspective. Save that. So now I can go ahead and turn perspective on and save over the other ones. Okay. Now this is nice because now I'm starting to get everything represented. Everything is really pretty close and it's there and it's, it is what it is. So yeah. Since I'm working on this timeline stuff right now, let's go in here and make sure that we have, let's turn perspective off. Kind of center her up nicely, so there's that. In fact, let's screenshot that so that way we can kind of keep track of our height and position here. Oh no! I got rid of the wrong one. Because this is the side view. Shoot. this. Do this. Okay, I can get rid of this. This is a view that I want to make sure that I do definitely have, because I liked how that view turned out. Okay, so now to be able to get the other side, this back 3/4, just going to do this, move it over, boom, movie, save, replace. Okay, I'm done. Well, I guess I'm not done, but you know, I can be done really quickly and really soon here. Control Shift E to be able to get this. Control Shift E to be able to get this. Get this. I missed that front 3/4, but it's okay. Go ahead and turn that on. Okay. It's looking so much cooler now. Alright. Make sure that I hit save, purely because I'm paranoid. Movie, save, save. Yes, okay, cool. Much nicer. I feel much more confident in in this project now. I mean, there's still a lot that I want to do, still a lot that I need to do, but it's definitely coming along. I'm trying to consider possibly some more loose soft body pieces. I mean, so I've got like the hair, which is loose soft body. I've got the shorts, which are loose soft body, but I don't have a whole lot more than that. I kind of want to add a little bit more so that there's instead of being like 10% soft body, I want it to have a little bit more of like closer to 30% soft body. Um, Meaning like looser sort of things. So I mean, I have originally gone through and kind of built out this this vest. I don't know that I want to use a vest anymore, because I don't want to cover up her back. If we look at her back, I mean, I've got some cool details in there that I definitely don't want to cover up. So maybe it's just a matter of being content with how she is. It might be enough. Might be enough just to work in different materials and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be something I'll have to kind of ideate on and figure out. That is life. But yeah, so that's where we're at. That's where we'll stay. So thanks for thanks for coming and hanging out, and gosh, I will see you next time I see you. Smartest out.